was a mistake. I was talked into it. I didn't want to do it, and it was my decision. It was a mistake. It's stupid on my part to do that.
Not only is that good coaching, that's what every husband ought to say at least 3 or 4 times a day. It was stupid. It was a mistake. It's my fault. Welcome to Gupper and the Gang, talking a little basketball here on the Red and Blue Review. We're going to start out with Daryl Bird, who has presided over one of the worst deflations, if you will, of Planet Blue we've ever seen. They've gone from national champions, unbeatable at home, to losing now a couple already this year in Rupp Arena.
Yeah, that's the first SEC home loss for John Calipari since he's been in Kentucky. And lo and behold, you think Texas A&M, the SEC, is terrible. They lost to Southern. I had to look up to even find out where Southern was. Texas A&M, not bad, but yeah, Kentucky's got issues, a lot of issues in a lot of areas. Last night, they had 2 players. They had Ryan Harrell, Nerlens Noel, and nobody else really bothered to show up.
And Louisville's on the verge, Howie, of knocking down the door to be #1 this week when all the polls come out later on.
It's pretty impressive with Duke going down. Michigan, you know, I think Louisville really, they're playing the best basketball. I really think right now, if it's a Final 2 in the country, it'd be Louisville and Indiana. And both of them just had tremendous performances on Saturday.
And I think, in all honesty, this is one of the most down years I can ever remember for college basketball. I think as you look across the country, there's a lot of teams out there struggling. North Carolina's struggling. Duke's lost.
There are some traditional powers that are really struggling, and I think most notably is North Carolina and Kentucky. I think Duke's a good team, not a great team.
Right.
I think that Indiana and Louisville have a chance to be great teams.
Yeah.
I think they've got enough depth, enough star power that they can be great teams. I'm not sold on Michigan yet.
No. Red and Blue Review coming to you this week from Oxmoor Country Club. Only a few weeks now until we have survived the winter and you're going to be wanting to get out and play a little golf. You can find out that this is a great, fun layout, a family atmosphere. For more information, go to oxmoorcc.com. All right, let's jump into it. Daryl's got some splaining to do in the lightning round. The Lightning Round on the Red and Blue Review brought to you by the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety, reminding you to click it or ticket. Well, for the first time in Red and Blue history, the big man on campus isn't even from that school, because the big man on the Kentucky campus is Elston Turner, who was 1 point away from a career high at halftime in Rupp Arena. He finished with 40 points in his first appearance in Rupp.
This is something I've been wanting for my whole life, and you know, to play Kentucky, get an opportunity to play, you know, one of the premier teams in the country, and you know, it was a great team win.
The NBA coaching, obviously, there's a couple guys that would do that to you, but in college, that was like phenomenal.
I haven't seen anybody shoot like that. He's a great player. I mean, we should have did a better job as players, just really closing out on him, forcing him to drive.
He made a couple step back threes that were, you know, very tough. That, you know, it wasn't much more I thought that I could do.
This was a special performance. I mean, it took a 40-point game, and you know, to beat Kentucky at Kentucky, and the run that they have in the SEC, winning all these home games, it's for a reason. They're very good. They're very deep. I mean, very, very talented and very well coached. And I thought for us to score 83 against their defense was incredible, and it took a special performance, and we were just truly blessed to get out with a win.
It was more than just the fact that he scored 40 points against Kentucky. It was everything. If you were watching, and I don't know if you could see it on TV or not, especially late, he would step back and knock the NBA range three. And it wasn't the shot, it was the reaction of the UK players. The body language of Archie Goodwin, who was so frustrated, or Alex Porthers, who was hanging his head a lot. Those young kids could not believe what the senior was doing to them. And it really showed the maturity difference between having someone like that, having a Darius Miller on your roster where they don't have anything even close to that this year. Really jumped out. The team was really frazzled, and you look around and you're looking to your teammates for help. Well, every other teammate's got the same expression. They're all frazzled during that late run when Howard was just burying UK, and that's what you saw. It really stood out last night.
It reminded me of the Tayshaun Prince performance against North Carolina years ago, when he was raining those threes in from everywhere.
From everywhere, including the end of the Big K when he hit 5 straight to open the game. I mean, he's in some nice company. David Robinson has the record with 45. Chris Jackson from the old Shaquille O'Neal team. And it's interesting, that's the first time anybody has scored 40 against UK at Rupp and won the game. Usually UK prevails.
It is a different time. Well, the big man on campus this week at the University of Louisville has been 4 years in the making as Peyton Siva now becomes the 64th Cardinal to score 1,000 career points.
You know, I think every now and then in life you come across a Billy Donovan, you come across a Peyton Siva. They're so few and far between where they don't have any of what we all have, the human frailties in life, you know.
It's awesome. Great milestone for him. We were talking about the other day. He kind of knew he was close, but, you know, he played great tonight. It's a great night to get it. You know, I'm very proud for him. Great player, great guy.
Peyton Siva is a tremendous student athlete. He's loved all across the campus. He was, of course, homecoming king, and to get his 1,000th point of a guy who's not really a scorer. I mean, I don't know if he's ever averaged more than, 10 points or so. So he just consistent. He scores when he gets a chance to. One of the few times I've ever seen him actually hunt shots was in the first half of that game.
Yeah.
He knew he had to get 13 points. He got them all 13 in the first half. And he took 3 threes, made all 3 threes, and he's playing with such confidence right now. It's great to see.
Are you surprised when you look back on the fact that when he came in 4 years ago, he was compared to John Wall, who's of course gone on to do other things.
Yeah.
Did you know at the time that he was going to be a 4-year player, Howie, or did you think that he would eventually get to the point where he left early as well?
I thought he would be probably a 2-year player, maybe a 3-year player, because I saw him in high school on a team that didn't have a whole lot of offensive weapons, and he was it. And he would score 40 points. He would score 35 points in a game. But once he got to college, I think he realized that, hey, I can pass the ball and these other guys can really shoot it. And he never really became the scorer that he ever was in high school.
Who got busted this week for the University of Kentucky is Alex Poythress, who got torched by Elston Turner. In fact, there were times in the first half in that game against Texas A&M where it looked like Poythress wasn't even interested in guarding Turner.
We could tell they were frustrated, and when you can tell that teams are frustrated, that's when you have to step on them and just finish the game off. And like you said, when I saw that they were frustrated, and I just told the team they're frustrated, and we're almost home, we're almost coming out with the win.
I wish, we could get Alex with more, scream, yell. I want to win. I'm stopping this guy. And that's what the guy was talking about. I'm looking at the dude, he's got his head down.
I mean, it's definitely in him. I've seen it multiple times. I mean, but it's a process to just get it out of him. I mean, there's times when he scored that basket tonight and won late in the game. He showed a lot of intensity. I pushed him. He pushed me right back. Kind of hurt too, but I mean, he's a big kid, and I mean, it's in him. But it just takes a little work to get it out.
Why is it important to get it out of him? How will he change if he does get that out of him?
He's already a great player, but if that part of it, more emotion comes out of him, I think it'll take him as a player to another level.
Yeah, John Calipari has not made very many mistakes in 3+ years in Lexington. Whoever on his staff talked him into putting Poythress on Turner. I hope the damage isn't too bad, but I mean that's got to be a blow to your confidence when you have to guard the other team's best player and he just bang, bang, 4 straight shots, and they have to take you off of him and let somebody else try. I mean, that could be a setback, and he did not need that at this stage. He needs anything that will continue to build his confidence, and that was not one of them.
Well, let's explore that for a minute. Poythress clearly has the physical tools to shut somebody down. And it seems to
not Turner, not a guard like that.
Well, perhaps, but a guy with those kind of physical tools, and it just seems like, Daryl, he doesn't play with a lot of emotion. You don't see him, I hate to use the term hustle, but you don't see him going all out. And I think perhaps we're grading him on the curve when you consider what we saw from MKG and some of those
part
guys
of the problem.
And it just doesn't seem like his motor revs up. That's why I was asking when I was talking with Noel, is this just who he is? That's the player that we're going to get, and that's who Kentucky fans are going to have to understand. That's just who he is.
Yeah, that's kind of the same lines I asked Calipari a couple of games ago when you want Alex to be the best Alex he can be, but how do you know when there's nothing more to pull out?
Right.
And he's like, I just don't take that as a possible answer. I just keep pulling until we find out if there is something else in there. And maybe this is just who he is. Personality-wise, I think this is who he is. Cal was saying after the game, he pointed out, Nerlens Noel is screaming and he's doing all this stuff, and he looks at Alex and you do that. Well, that's not his personality, so I'm not sure that he will ever do that. He's just got to find some role, and this team is struggling to the point he can't settle into a role where I'm going to get 6, 7 rebounds and 8 or 9 points and everybody's happy. They need more than that from him is the problem.
Yeah, 2 guys remind me of Samardo Samuels and Earl Clark. Louisville fans waited for years for those guys to come out of their shell, to be more aggressive. Boy, if Samardo was just more aggressive. If I had $1 for every time I heard that, that's just who he was. Those guys showed themselves as great players afterwards. They're still in the NBA, but they didn't really have that kind of spark.
When I saw him in the Texas A&M game, I looked up and he had 12 points, and I remember thinking, I don't even remember him trying, and he's got 12 points. If he would ever get the ticker going, I think he could dominate.
Yeah, you notice the Louisville game is where Cal really publicly went after him, and he only played 20 minutes maybe, 7 points, 5 rebounds in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
If he plays 40, that's a double-double and everybody's happy, so where's the problem? The skill is there. They just got to figure out how to let him settle into a role he's comfortable with and stop trying to turn him into something he's not.
The Red and Blue Review coming to you this week from the Ballroom at the Oxmoor Country Club. This place is big enough that it can stage a network TV show, and there's room on each end. You can play a mighty mean game of kickball in here, too. This place is absolutely huge. A wedding, this is probably where your ballroom dance is going to be. So if weddings are in your plans in the coming future, especially spring, huge time for weddings, please consider Oxmoor Country Club. Well, what got busted for the University of Louisville yesterday was any thought that their defense stunk it up, because think about this. Louisville held the South Florida Bulls to 22% shooting.
Well, we allowed them to dictate the pace of the game last year with certain shots we took offensively, and we weren't very aggressive at the defensive end. Obviously, we're a little bit more physically talented and playing much more man-to-man this year, so that helps us as well. We did a great job of switching. We did a great job of playing their plays tonight from a scouting standpoint.
This is a team in South Florida that's not a terrible team. Louisville made them look absolutely awful. This team beat Georgia. They were within, 5 points late against Syracuse. They're not terrible, and Louisville made them look terrible. They only had 12 field goals, 17 turnovers. It was like the 4-minute mark of the second half when they finally broke 30 points. I mean, Louisville's defense was tremendous. So South Florida's offense definitely got busted.
Well, maybe we should have seen this loss by the Cats to Texas A&M coming, because Elston Turner said that the Aggies, once they found out they were going to be in the Big 12, they have been planning to play in Rupp Arena for a long time.
Yeah, from our team standpoint, we were up at 6 in the morning in the summer, running, in 110-degree weather in Texas, and our coaches always emphasize, this is what's gonna, get us to the top, and we always, talked about how, it's gonna be tough when we go into Rupp Arena. And we go to Florida and, Tennessee and all the other schools. And, we just kind of, emphasize that, in order to, what we have to do to win, we're going to have to, grind in the summer, off season. And we've been together for, ever since, I think, June or May or June. And our team chemistry is great right now.
It was interesting to watch that, because you hear John Calipari, and I know people get tired of it, we're everybody's Super Bowl. It's the big. He just validated that. He said, as soon as we got in the SEC, we found Kentucky, Rupp Arena, SEC, we get to go there and win maybe. Yeah, the players just cannot appreciate how much it means for someone to come into Rupp Arena to take on Kentucky.
Well, South Florida does not have a great basketball team, but they got a great big basketball player, 7'3" Jordan Omagbin.
I bet he's 350. I don't know. He's a big dude. Probably one of the bigger players I've ever played against. Yeah, I mean, the biggest I ever played against was against Greg Oden in high school, and all the time I played against him every day in practice. And then he was bigger than Greg, not as fast though.
I wanted to talk to Steve Vantrease after the game because I knew that Vantrease had practiced against Greg Oden, who probably the best high school center I've ever seen before he got hurt and all that other stuff. But this kid, Jordan Omagbin, 7'3", he's listed at 335. He's got to be 400 pounds. Got to be. And I tell you, Jordan, if you're watching this show and you need an agent, I can get you in WWE. Yeah. I can get you working security. I can get you in the next Bond film. Yeah. You'd be a great villain.
Well, we don't often dispense medical advice here on the Red and Blue Review, but coming back, we're going to tell you how to stop the runs. Daryl's going to tell us how to get
thanks for giving it to me after that. I do appreciate it. We do appreciate all the subscribers to the Cat's Paws. Very easy to do. You can give us a call, 800-641-3302. The cover this week, agonizing defeat.
How do you say it?
Bear nose.
Bear nose?
Beer nose.
Bear-Nose? No matter how you say it, Bear-Nose has been serving up Louisville-style pizza since 1977 from 13 area locations.
Bear nose. Bear nose.
It's been over 90 years since my grandfather entered the Chevrolet business. Steve and I are proud of our son Ryan and our son-in-law Andrew, who now make the 4th generation. The tradition continues with our dedication to excellence and customer satisfaction. Thank you, Kentuckiana, for making us your #1 Chevrolet dealer. We would like to introduce you to the all-new Bachman Chevrolet.
Did you know that 2/3 of all truck-related crashes are actually caused by cars? Large trucks carry heavy loads and need more room to stop than cars. Merging without leaving enough space between you and a truck could cost you a ticket, or something much worse, your life. Law enforcement will be out on the road writing tickets to make sure both truck and car drivers stay safe. Before merging, be sure you can see both of the truck's headlights in your rear-view mirror to ensure proper braking room. This message brought to you by the KSP Commercial Vehicle Enforcement Division.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
We didn't always watch football at Buffalo Wild Wings.
It's so great to see you guys outside the office.
So you brew your own beer?
Yeah, for you, Bratwurst beer, and this one's a secret. Drink up. This one's ready in 2 minutes.
Protect the football. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Yeah, I just picked her up. We should be there in 20 minutes. Who is it? Oh, it's him. Where is he?
I know. Yeah, I know.
How do you say it?
Bear nose.
Bear nose?
Beer nose.
Bear nose? No matter how you say it, Bear Nose has been serving up Louisville-style pizza since 1977 from 13 area locations.
Bear nose. Bear nose.
Welcome back to the Red and Blue Review. My name is Josh Snyder. I'm the head golf professional at Oxmoor Country Club. You can play golf anywhere, but if you're serious about improving your game, you need to be at Oxmoor Country Club. We recently invested in our practice facility that makes it one of the best in the city. Whether you want to work on your wedge game, your bunker play, your putting, your mid-iron play, or your full swing with the driver, we have the facilities that will make you better. If you want to get better, please come see us at Oxmoor Country Club. Now back to the Red and Blue Review.
Thank you, Josh. Let's talk a little basketball right now in our Game Time storylines. This portion of the show brought to you by Kentucky State Police, who are ticketing aggressive driving with cars and trucks, so be careful when you're hitting the road. Well, it sounds heroic to say that you were taking chances to help your team win, but Cal says that's one of the reasons Kentucky lost to Texas A&M.
When it's a tight game like that and it's a gut time in the game, it's crunch time, you don't take any chances. You don't try to steal any balls unless something is deflected and you get a run through. Other than that, you're not going to give them an easy basket. We did. We left our feet like they hadn't made jumpers. One kid did. Kid on we leave his feet and he goes in and shoots a 4-footer. What? Why'd you do that? He hadn't made a jumper all game. Try to steal from Turner. You can't steal from him. Now he had a shot. Why did you play behind the post and try to steal? Why did you know what I'm saying? It was all discipline. And again, this is big stuff for these guys.
Now, that's exactly what we saw there is a freshman-dominated team that has no senior leadership. I kind of took a different approach to what Calipari said. When they made a huge comeback to take a 4-point lead with 6 minutes to go, I think they didn't have the maturity not to try to ride that wave of adrenaline. And everything had been going right because they're coming back. Everything's going right. Julius Mays hits the big three. They're all pushing each other around. Well, at that point, you're bulletproof. I can make any steal I want to make. I can steal it from behind. I can take the ball away from this guy who's on his way to 40, by the way. I'll lose my mind for a minute. And they didn't have the discipline to pull back and say, all right, let's be smart and play a standard defense, get the ball back, and we'll build the lead slowly as to going to make the big hero play. I think they didn't have the maturity to be able to check their emotions in that case.
University of Louisville basketball is where miracles happen on a weekly basis. We were told that Shane Behannon would miss 7 to 10 days due to injury. He played against South Florida.
It was excellent. I think Shane gave us a tremendous lift in the game. I think Gorky played his tail off, but Shane had 12 rebounds at halftime, and he wasn't supposed to play. Trainer was going to hold him out. He told one of our coaches that I'm ready to play. I said it's a little painful, but I can play. So, the players make the decisions and that type of thing, and Shane really helped us this evening.
Shane Behannon's actually fairly famous for the size of his calves and ankles. I mean, he's got tree trunks for legs, and it is very difficult, apparently, to sprain those effectively. And to the point where, for a normal person, it would take 7 to 10 days. For Shane Behannon, it took 3 days. That's cankle power. I mean, he came right back and got 12 rebounds the first half.
Or it's typical Rick hyperbole.
That too.
Which I think I'm going with that. Red and Blue Review coming to you from Oxmoor Country Club. Great place to center your golf game for the coming year in 2013. Absolutely fantastic golf course. You can fly around this thing. Get you a golf cart. You can zip around here in about 3 hours. It's a fantastic layout. You can even work on your game on your lunch break if you want to drop over here. Located just outside of the beltway of Hurstbourne Lane, the Snyder. Not the Snyder, the Watterson. Oxmoor Country Club. Go to oxmoorcc.com for more information. Well, when you and I start talking about stopping the runs, if you will, we reach for Pepto-Bismol. Well, the coach of Kentucky reaches for rebounds.
When they start to go on a run, it's a 6-0 run, and you call a timeout. You got to stop the bleeding. 1, you got to get fouled. 2, you got an offensive rebound, man. Go after every ball because it stops the bleeding. And then 3, you're going to make easy plays. You're not making hard plays. You're not making the hardest shot. And we talked about it and didn't. On defense, I just told you, you can't let them rebound, and you got to make them make hard plays. And you don't foul. And at that point, you become really a disciplined team, and that's that will to win. The will to win is having discipline with 3-4 minutes to go. Right now, we don't have that discipline.
And sadly, you're in the middle of conference play. The only way to learn that is to go prove it to yourself in a game. They're going to have to pull out a game late a similar situation where they calm themselves down, workmanlike all the way through. You end up with the one the team has to foul. You make your free throws, you win the game, you go to the house. They're not there yet, and somebody's going to have to play older than they really are and lead this team to one of those victories.
Kentucky's going to have a football makeover. We'll talk about that when we come back. But first, Howie's going to tell us about CardinalSports.com.
Absolutely. CardinalSports.com is your best source for all your Louisville news. After these basketball games, check in at CardinalSports.com, and we've got post-game reaction from Rick Pitino, post-game reaction from inside the locker room. You'll hear from the players. We can take you places that fans don't normally get to go. So check it out at CardinalSports.com.
Yeah, I just picked her up. We should be there in 20 minutes. Who is it? Oh, it's him. Where is he?
I know. Yeah, I know.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
Hi, I'm Teresa Bachman. Merry Christmas from Bachman Subaru. Our sales, service, and parts departments are now open, and Bachman's new Subaru inventory is the best ever, with 96 Subarus available. With 0% financing available on Forester and Legacy models during the Subaru Share the Love event, plus Bachman's year-end Subaru specials. We also have a great selection of certified pre-owned Subarus. The Subaru Share the Love event, now at Bachman Subaru.
Bachman makes a difference.
Did you know that 2/3 of all truck-related crashes are actually caused by cars? Large trucks carry heavy loads and need more room to stop than cars. Merging without leaving enough space between you and a truck could cost you a ticket, or something much worse, your life. Law enforcement will be out on the road writing tickets to make sure both truck and car drivers stay safe. Before merging, be sure you can see both of the truck's headlights in your rearview mirror to ensure proper braking room. This message brought to you by the KSP Commercial Vehicle Enforcement Division.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
Yeah, I just picked her up. We should be there in 20 minutes. Who is it? Oh, it's him. Where is he?
I know. Yeah, I know.
Much is placed on the emphasis on recruiting, but you know, that's what helps you is the players being comfortable and the players having a great facility.
Daryl, Mark Stoops says this $110 million renovation of 40-year-old Commonwealth will help recruiting in what ways?
In what way is that you're Kentucky, you're in the SEC, you're recruiting a lot of these kids. Guess what? They go to other schools too in the SEC. They look around and these other places have these facilities. So it's important that Kentucky keep up in that regard. And it's going to be really sweet. It's a long time coming.
We'll be keeping up with basketball this week. A lot of big games coming up for you. When we rejoin you next time here on the Red and Blue Review, the gang will be talking about Kentucky taking on Tennessee and then going on the road to Auburn. Louisville's got a couple of Big East matchups of note, UConn, and then the Syracuse game. We'll see you here on Red and Blue.